Young and the Restless brought several characters back from the dead, and these resurrections were really problematic. Some were unpopular, some were just flat out ridiculous. Obviously, surprise resurrections are commonplace on soap operas, but sometimes they're just so poorly written that they are just preposterous, and we're going to talk about some of those that just didn't land well for various reasons. Diane Jenkins' controversial return, a deep dive into the problematic resurrection. The first back from the dead character we have on our list of problematic returns is Diane Jenkins. And to be very clear, I love Susan Walters, and I'm glad she's back to Young and the Restless. She was great on Vampire Diaries, Teen Wolf. She's been on so many things. She's phenomenal. Her original run as Diane ended when Susan didn't renew her contract. She decided to go pursue other projects, and she wrapped her run as Diane in 2004. 6 years later, they recast Maura West as Diane. Maura is a phenomenal actress. I love her. She's still on General Hospital right now. She is amazing. Diane Jenkins dead on Young and the Restless. So her run ended with a rock to the head that killed her from blunt force trauma, and many people were suspected of killing Diane, and it came out in the end that Nikki Newman had killed her in self-defense. Then 12 years later, they did this major retcon, and they brought back Susan Walters and said that she faked her death, and it was insane in the way they did it. It was a clear and obvious and final death, but Josh Griffith did it anyway. And initial fan reaction was a mixed bag. Some people were happy, and some were very displeased to have Diane back. Initially, I think fans were very opposed to her return because her resurrection was nothing short of nonsense, and she had been such a troublemaker. And she's turned out great. They have drastically changed her character. I like her now, but it was a nonsensical retcon. The unkillable Sheila Carter, More Lives Than a Cat, on YNR and Bold and the Beautiful. All right, the second character resurrected on YNR that was a hot mess is a bad woman who has more lives than a cat. I am talking about super she-villain Sheila Carter. First, Kimberlyn Brown's character was presumed dead in a farmhouse fire, and then she was trapped in a bomb shelter that caved in, and Sheila was presumed dead again. But then she was at a plastic surgeon's office ready to get a new face. That was when they resurrected Sheila and recast her at the same time. They had Michelle Stafford playing the character of Sheila instead of Kimberlyn Brown. And the premise was that Sheila had plastic surgery to look exactly like Phyllis Summers, because she was Lauren Fenmore's best friend at the time. And then Sheila was exposed for impersonating Phyllis, and then Lauren shot and supposedly killed Sheila. From there, Sheila was really supposedly dead, and then she's come back to life 2 more times over on Bold and the Beautiful. Many fans love Kimberlyn Brown as Sheila. I love Kimberlyn Brown. She's a phenomenal actress, and either you love her or you love to hate her, but the sheer number of times that Sheila has come back from the dead on Young and the Restless and on Bold and the Beautiful is just insanity. Matt Clark's unbelievable comeback, a ridiculous resurrection on Young and the Restless. All right, number 3 is a brand new resurrection, Matt Clark, with a recast that went from Rick Hurst to Roger Howarth, both of them veterans of General Hospital, both of them actors I adore. And let's be real, Matt coming back from the dead is ridiculous, because he was most definitely dead. He was shot by a friend of Sharon Newman's that he had raped. But then Matt tried to pin the shooting on Nick Newman, and then Matt left town and he returned 4 years later. So originally he was played by Eddie Cibrian, who originated the role, and then when they brought him back, it was Rick Hurst in the role, and they said Matt Clark had plastic surgery. He was using the name Carter Mills. He got a job at Crimson Lights. Matt tricks Sharon and Nick on Young and the Restless. He got close to Sharon and Nick, and then another of Matt's victims drove off a cliff with him in the car, trying to kill herself and Matt both. She died, but he survived and made it to the hospital. He was not expected to survive, and then while Nick was in his hospital room, Matt pulled out his breathing tube, killing himself again to frame Nick. But fortunately, the Newmans bat out from under that. But he was well and truly dead, and now he's back. And it's insane because Matt was dead as a doornail. He had all these traumatic injuries from that car wreck and then yanked out the breathing tube that was keeping him alive. And it's twice as silly because it's hot on the heels of Cameron Kirsten coming back after all those years gone, and Ian Ward coming back after all those years gone. It's like all Josh Griffith can do is write blasts from Sharon's past to torment her. Nothing unique there. I do love Roger Howarth. I think he's absolutely killing it as Matt, but the resurrection is so unrealistic. Adam Newman's 9 Lives, analyzing the many resurrections of a fan-favorite character on Young and the Restless. Alright, the fifth and final bad resurrection is another fairly recent one, Claire Grace Newman. Back in 1998, Victoria Newman gave birth to Cole Horwade's baby, but their daughter died of complications from a premature birth. Fast forward 25 years, later, out of nowhere, Josh Griffith did another big, sloppy retcon and wrote that Cole's crazy Aunt Jordan Howard kidnapped Claire as a baby and raised her to be her revenge tool to wield against the Newmans on Young and the Restless. Jordan had a grudge over her dead sister. She was blaming Victor Newman and the Newmans for Eve Howard's death, even though her cause of death was encephalitis from a mosquito bite. Unless Victor has mosquitoes on the payroll, I don't see it. That was a huge retcon that had nothing foundational to pin it to. Even worse, they resurrected Claire as an evil villainess bent on revenge against all the Newmans because Jordan had raised her to hate the Newmans. Claire tried to kill the Newmans, and after Jordan's lies came out, Claire turned on her and poisoned her great-aunt's tea and killed her. After Jordan's death, YNR's mediocre head writer Josh Griffith then pivoted and started writing Claire as this goody two-shoes that nobody blames for her crimes. So not only was Claire's resurrection unrealistic, so is how they have just twisted her character around to make her this heroine, this golden little angel. And again, I love actress Haley Aaron, loved her on General Hospital so much, loved her in all her work. As with most issues on YNR, it's down to the bad writing.